And over the weekend, things got a lot more intense. A lot more shutdowns are taking place across America. Most countries are on lockdown now, and the overall global economy is coming to a halt. This is making things a lot more unpredictable in terms of what the markets are going to do. We don't know how long these shutdowns are going to be in place. We have never seen anything like this before. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Svenson, and today we're going to be talking about the price of Bitcoin, and we're also going to discuss the traditional markets and the action that we've seen in the stock market recently. The spread of coronavirus has triggered one of the biggest, if not the biggest event of my generation. I've even talked to some baby boomers about this, and even they have said they have not seen anything like this before. Coronavirus has created a domino effect across the globe. People are in a bit of a panic mode right now. Society is reacting very strongly to this. Governments are instructing the public on what to do to stop the spread of this virus. Most people in the United States and in Europe have never seen anything like this. We're seeing stores shut down, businesses shut down, supply chains are being cut off. People can't go to school right now. People are being told not to go into work. A lot of people are sitting in self-quarantine at home right now, not leaving their houses. People are panicking, looking to buy up supplies. I mean, guys, this is a huge event. We have not seen anything like this before in our lifetimes. And the traditional markets have had a very strong reaction to this event. We've seen one of the quickest drops in stock market history in the past couple months. Without a doubt, people are going to be talking about this time period for decades to come. This is going to be in the history books, guys. For those of you managing your cryptos across all the top exchanges right now, there is nothing better than CryptoWatch. You can actually access all of your assets across all the top exchanges, all from one place, and you don't have to log into exchanges anymore. Definitely click that link below right now and sign up for the platform. Let's start off by talking about the price of Bitcoin. Right now, Bitcoin is trading at 5,000 US dollars. Bitcoin had a weekly candle close below the 200-week moving average. This was the first time in Bitcoin history that we ever saw a 30% drop below the 200-week moving average, a weekly candle close below it, and a continuation below the moving average. This is some of the most bearish price action we've ever seen in Bitcoin history. And it is not a coincidence that this price action took place during one of the strongest and quickest traditional market corrections we've ever seen. I know a lot of people out there in the Bitcoin community hate when I talk about Bitcoin's correlation to the stock market, because for a very long time, a lot of people in crypto were living in a fantasy land. They wanted to believe that Bitcoin was uncorrelated to the stock market, and they wanted to believe that Bitcoin was either a hedge against the stock market or it was a great asset to hold in times of economic crisis. And as we have seen recently, all of this has been proven false. Satoshi Nakamoto never intended for Bitcoin to be a hedge against the stock market. I don't even think Satoshi Nakamoto ever even discussed Bitcoin being an uncorrelated asset. The purpose of Bitcoin was to revolutionize the way that we value currency and the way that we use currency. Just because Bitcoin is decentralized doesn't mean that it doesn't correlate with the global markets as a whole. There is no magical force that makes Bitcoin decouple from the traditional markets. There is no magical thing that makes that happen, guys. Bitcoin is now a part of the economy. Bitcoin is connected to everything. And now that institutions have gotten a hold of Bitcoin, and people in the, and the CME said that we're going to tame the price of Bitcoin, now that institutions are involved, we are going to be correlating much heavier with the traditional markets than ever before. Recently on YouTube and on Twitter, I put out 2 polls asking where you guys thought Bitcoin would bottom. And right now, most people think that we are screwed and that we are going to be falling below $3,000. Both on YouTube and Twitter, the most popular answer was sub 3,000. And that means that the majority of people right now, at least my viewers, are bearish. Majority of people are extremely bearish and think that Bitcoin is going to be falling below 3,000. That is what the majority thinks right now. I also asked you guys on YouTube and on Twitter, where will the S&P bottom? And the most popular answer right now is the most bearish answer. Either total collapse or the world is ending. These are the most popular answers right now. Right now, the majority of people are extremely bearish on Bitcoin and are expecting sub 3,000. And the majority of people are also extremely bearish on the S&P 500 in the stock market, and they are expecting a total collapse Now, of course, if the stock market sees a continued collapse, a total collapse in the stock market, then yes, it is totally possible that Bitcoin could see sub 3,000. But right now, I want to discuss some more possibilities when it comes to the traditional markets. Right now, making an analysis just about Bitcoin doesn't really make sense. We are correlating heavily with the traditional markets at the moment, and what the stock market does heavily affects Bitcoin right now. I want to go through a few speculative scenarios that we could see in the traditional markets. One possibility would be something like we saw here going into the year 2000, where we see increased levels of volatility, where the market sees, some lower lows and just some horizontal highs and just an increased level of volatility before finding a bottom and continuing up. This is one possibility. The next possibility is more of a 2008 scenario where the market might play out a small bounce and then ultimately just continue this lower low trajectory and see a really steep correction back to maybe the previous highs before finding a full recovery here. And if this coronavirus continues to get way worse and we see a continued shutdown of the economy, then the next scenario that I see as a possibility would be a 1929 scenario of a total collapse of the market, where essentially we would see a dead cat bounce and really just a complete collapse of the market, possibly bringing us back to Dow Jones 8,000 or lower before finding a true recovery. Again, I'm just being extremely speculative here. I'm more curious to know what you guys think. Do you guys think we're going to see a scenario 1, a descending broadening wedge type pattern, a scenario 2, a 2008 collapse type pattern, or a scenario 3, a complete bust of the overall market looking for the lowest possible prices? I want to know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'm not ultra bearish on the market, although I do think we are going to see a lot of instability and a lot of volatility moving forward. Now, again, Bitcoin has never seen this type of market before. Guys, the only environment that Bitcoin has ever known is a very strong bull market. In fact, the only thing that Bitcoin has ever seen is the longest bull market in US history. Bitcoin has only seen a bull market until now. Until now, Bitcoin has only experienced a bull market. And Bitcoin's reaction to this collapse of the traditional market was not very good. So right now, it's really hard to predict just what Bitcoin's going to do. Recently on Twitter, I said, if you didn't sell Bitcoin at higher prices, selling now is a really stupid move in my opinion. The stock market doesn't have much more room to move down at this point, another 10% at the most, then we hit major support. I am not selling, only looking for buys at this point. The way that I see this right now is that, maybe the market could see another 10% to the downside, or maybe a little bit more, 12%, 10%, which would essentially be bringing us down to this previous high that we saw here in 2014. So my approach right now is it doesn't really make sense to panic sell at these levels. It makes more sense to just look for more buy opportunities. I mean, if you sold Bitcoin at much higher prices, then that's fantastic. But if you rode your position straight to the floor here, in my opinion, it doesn't really make sense to panic sell at these levels. But again, most of what Bitcoin's going to do from here on out has a lot to do with what the stock market is going to do. If the S&P 500 does come back to retest 2,000, 2,200, then it's possible that Bitcoin might be looking to retest 3,800 again at that point. Maybe even see a little bit more downside than that. But personally, I still think that panic selling at these levels, if you've already rode all of your positions down to the floor here, I really don't think that it makes sense to panic sell. At least that's just my opinion. I could be proven completely wrong. And the mega bears out there that think Bitcoin's going to 1,000 could be right in the end. But again, that all depends on the stock market. It all depends on the stock market at this point. I'm going to be keeping a very close eye on the stock market. We are in the highest level of uncertainty in the past decade right now. Looking at Bitcoin on the 4-hour chart, Bitcoin has created a higher low here at 4,400. The bulls are trying to maintain this support level right now, but we're also getting resistance right now off of the descending triangle support from 2018. Looking at the 4-hour chart again, that is where we are getting support now. Bitcoin attempted to rally above 6,000 after the Fed announcement, and we did get rejected from that. And we have since then pulled back with the stock market. The highest levels of uncertainty for the stock market we've seen in the past 10 years, and these are also the highest levels of uncertainty we've seen for Bitcoin as well. So it is very hard to predict what the markets are going to do with this virus outbreak. When the stock market does find a low, and when the stock market does bounce, wherever that may be, you can bet that Bitcoin is also going to see a tremendous bounce off that level. But right now, it's really hard to say what the market's going to do and when we're going to find a low. So at this point for me, it doesn't make sense to sell at these levels. It doesn't make sense to panic sell at these low levels. I'm just going to be looking out at the stock market, waiting for a low to be formed, some kind of low, even if it's just temporary. And then I'm going to be looking for more buy opportunities in the crypto market. I don't have that many answers for you. I just wanted to make a video discussing the overall action that we've seen. But that's going to be it for me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Be sure to sign up with the CryptoWatch platform, which is the platform that you see me use in all of my videos. And if you want to support the channel further, you can join the Patreon, and I will see you guys in the next video.